Over the weekend, John McCain passed away at the age of 81. He was diagnosed with brain cancer, and before the weekend begun, his family had notified the press that they were going to discontinue his treatment. Soon after that, news broke that he had passed away. Now, there have been some interesting developments coming from the White House in response to McCain's death, and they are not good. So let's start off with Trump refusing to really address the fact that John McCain had died. Now, first, Press Secretary Sarah Huckabee Sanders, Chief of Staff John Kelly, and other White House aides advocated for an official statement that gave the Vietnam War POW plaudits for his military and Senate service and called him a hero. But Trump was not in favor of that. In fact, according to reports, Trump told aides that he wanted to post a brief tweet instead, and the statement praising him, John McCain, was not released. Okay, so what did Trump say through Twitter? You know, that's where he's this articulate communicator. My deepest sympathies and respect go out to the family of Senator John McCain. Our hearts and prayers are with you. So this is speculation, but I would argue that it's accurate speculation. Trump didn't even write that. There were no misspellings. There was no grammatical error. There was punctuation. Someone else wrote that on his behalf. And even so, it didn't even really acknowledge John McCain, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah, I didn't have as much of a problem with the tweet as most people did.
Yeah,
he
really
certainly
care.
could have said more.
I don't expect anything from Trump. Look, this whole story puts us in a weird position because on one hand, of course, we had issues with John McCain. He was a war hawk, all of that. You know, it's not like we agreed with everything he did. Now, progressives get ready to be angry with me. He wasn't all bad either, right? Now, Trump has no redeeming qualities. I don't care about Trump. There's nothing that I can turn to and say, nah, that was good. That was a good thing about Trump. With John McCain, it was different. You know, he was a mixed bag. Yes, he was a war hawk. Yes, he said some pretty terrible things about the Asian community in the past. I got no love for him when it comes to those things. Yeah. But when it comes to, you know, some of the things he was outspoken about, whether it be about immigrants, whether it be about speaking up against Donald Trump, those are the things that are admirable. He was the
McCain-Feingold and
McCain-Feingold. He was the only Republican senator, if I'm remembering correctly. No, he was the one who made the deciding vote in the Affordable Care Act repeal.
To save part of it.
To save part of it. So he wasn't all bad, okay?
Yeah,
so
he was mostly bad. He was the vast majority bad.
Yes.
He was almost entirely bad.
But with that said, you are a US president. Just have a little bit of class. I know that we can't really expect that from him. And he hated McCain. It was clear he hated McCain. He said that he preferred soldiers who didn't get captured, a reference to McCain being a prisoner of war for 6 years.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway, so during a press conference, here's how Trump handled questions about McCain's death.
Thank you. Nothing at all about John.
Time to go. We're finished. Guys. Keep moving. Let's go. We're finished.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.
So one other thing that I wanted to say to juxtapose his response to McCain's passing. Remember last week, Trump was tweeting nonstop about how admirable Manafort is.
That's true.
This is a man, okay, who was working for the Russian government and was hiding money from the US government so he would evade taxes, okay? And I do want to clarify that error. I think that there was someone on this network who said that Manafort's convictions had nothing to do with Russia. It absolutely did have something to do with Russia because he made his money through Russia, through representing Russian interests in Ukraine in order to help Vladimir Putin achieve what he wanted in Ukraine. And then he made $60 million doing it and hid $30 million from the US government so he could evade taxes. So the root of that problem was Russia and the fact that Manafort was a foreign agent who failed to register as a foreign agent here in the United States. Just want to make sure that we correct any errors that might have aired on our network. With that said, though, what are your thoughts on all of this, John?
I mean, the obvious thing to say is it's pathetic, but it probably would go maybe in the top 50 most pathetic things that Donald Trump has done. I mean, the simplest thing in the world would be, Mr. President, do you have any comments about John McCain? Yeah, I'd just like to thank him for his service. Obviously, great work in the military, fighting on behalf of his country, and a long and distinguished career in the Senate that will be remembered for a very long time. Thank you. That's the easiest thing in the world. You could say that about somebody that just punched you in the face and it wouldn't be that hard. John McCain's dead. You've won, sort of, I guess. You hated the man, now he's dead and you're somehow still alive. It would be the easiest thing in the world to just act, take your pick, and I apologize if I offend anyone. Either act like an adult or act like a man. Do one of those two things. Maybe an adult man, if you've got it inside of you to do that. The simplest thing in the world to just tweet, for all of our disagreements, John McCain did what he believed in and he'll be remembered as one of the giants of the Senate in the 20th century. That's simple. That's not saying he was right on the issues. That's not saying he wasn't a D-bag to you or anything like that. That is the most simple thing in the world. But he doesn't have any of that in him. He is a vindictive, narcissistic, tiny little man-child.
That's right. That's what we're dealing with.
And this is not from my point of view. I don't care about John McCain, really. I feel bad for his family, and that's what I expressed on Twitter. I lost my father to cancer. I can only imagine what it's like for the family to do the same thing right now. But he's of your party. You agree with 96% of the votes that he's taken in his career, and you can't work up 7 or 8 words to rub together in his honor?
No, he can't. He can't even handle allowing the release of a White House statement that he doesn't have to write himself. He won't allow it. You
know what? Maybe it was that the word hero was in there.
Yeah,
and that's why he has to attack John McCain on that particular thing, which, he's done terrible things afterward, pushed for policies that killed hundreds of thousands of people, did about as bad stuff as he can. But what he did in Vietnam was heroic. I haven't done anything like that in my life. Have you done anything like that in your life?
Of course I haven't.
Edwin?
And by the way,
most of the people watching this haven't.
It wasn't just that he was a prisoner of war for years. It was that he was being tortured to give up top secret information to our enemies at the time, and he refused to do it. Yeah. In the meantime, Trump didn't go to Vietnam because he lied about bone spurs in his foot.
And he had his personal Vietnam, which was the fight to not get an STD, which is his quote, not mine. So that's why he lashes out, because he sees in John McCain something that he has never had. 1 single ounce of heroism or integrity or honor or any of that.
Want to see more videos like this? Well, you can. All you have to do is subscribe to the TYT channel below. And don't forget to become a TYT member and download the TYT Plus app on your phone. Head over to tyt.com/join today.